Welcome to Carnath Films. Let's find out how to get the regular 64-bit version of Windows 10 running on your Apple Silicon Mac. Is it fast? Not particularly. Is it useful? Depends on your needs. Please don't expect to play games with it. Is it a technological achievement? Absolutely. Note that the whole process may take up to 2 hours, but you don't have to do it all at once. Step 1. Verify that your M1 or Apple Silicon Mac has enough available storage space to install both UTM and Windows 10. You'll need about 20 gigabytes of storage space, and you can check it by clicking the Apple logo about this Mac and Storage. Step 2. Download the UTM app. Click the UTM App Store link in the video description or open App Store and search for UTM. You'll see the app UTM Virtual Machines in the results. This is the easiest way of installing UTM and it costs less than $10. If you prefer not to pay for it, you can download it outside the App Store from the official UTM page. This version of UTM is virtually identical to the App Store version, except that it will not receive automatic updates with new features. Step 3. Get Windows 10. Simply click the Windows 10 link in the video description or search for Windows 10 ISO and find the Microsoft website in the results. Once you're on this page, select the latest Windows 10 version from the first menu, then choose your preferred language in the second one. Click Confirm and then click 64-bit Download to begin downloading the ISO file. It will be about 6 gigabytes in size, and this file contains the Windows 10 operating system as well as the setup app for installing it. Step 4. Download special drivers and tools. There are special drivers and guest tools available to speed up the virtual machine. They're called guest tools because the virtual machine is like a guest entering the party where your Mac is the host. Click the drivers and guest tools links in the video description or search online for VirtIO Win Drivers 190 Direct Download and UTM Guest Tools. You will end up with 2 ISO files like these ones. Step 5. It's time to create the Windows 10 virtual machine. This means making a safe space for Windows 10 to run in. It's easiest if you click the link in the video description called UTM Template. This is a single file that contains all UTM settings that are needed for Windows 10. Once you've downloaded the file, simply double-click it to add it to UTM. Next, you'll want to check one final technical requirement before you begin installing Windows. Go to your About This Mac window again and look at how much memory it has. If there are more than 8 gigabytes of memory, you're all good and can skip 20 seconds ahead. If your Mac has 8 gigabytes, click the Options button in the top right of UTM and then choose the System tab. Drag the memory slider 2 steps to the left and make sure the number 4096 MB is showing as the amount of memory. With this out of the way, click Save and you can begin installing. Step 6. Installing Windows 10. Click Play to start the virtual machine. You'll see a new window with the UTM logo and, after a few seconds, a few lines of text will appear. If you see this screen when using UTM, it means that your virtual machine doesn't contain an operating system. To change that, click on the CD button in the top right and then choose CD/DVD and click on Change. An open file window will appear. Browse to the Windows 10 ISO file you downloaded and open it. The window will close, but the virtual machine won't do anything. You need to restart it to get to the Windows setup, so click the Restart button at the top and confirm with OK. Next, click the button to the right of the Restart button to switch your Mac's keyboard and cursor into the VM. When you see the message asking whether to boot from CD or DVD, press Enter to boot into Windows setup. You might notice that your Mac's mouse cursor has disappeared. Don't worry though, you can always disable the virtual keyboard by pressing the Ctrl and Option keys together. This will also release your mouse. If on a European keyboard, press Ctrl and Alt. If all goes well, you'll see the Windows 10 loading animation. By the way, if something goes wrong, you can always simply delete the VM from UTM and start again from step 5. Your Mac won't be affected since Windows is in its own virtual safe space. After a few minutes, you should arrive at this Windows setup screen. Now, there's a lot of small steps and things to look out for ahead, but thankfully you won't have to remember any of it, so just follow along. choose the language and keyboard layout you'd like to use and click Next, then click Install Now. Starting the setup will take another good minute, after which you'll see the Activate Windows screen. If you've got a Windows product key, you can type it in here. It's not necessary though, and you can simply click on I don't have a product key at the bottom if you, well, don't have one. If you, like me, have not entered a product key, you'll see this list of editions to choose from. If in doubt, just choose Windows 10 Pro and click Next. Click the checkbox to agree to the software license, then click Next. You'll be given the choice between Upgrade and Custom Install. Make sure to choose Custom here. Setup will now ask you, where do you want to install Windows? But there won't be any option to choose. You need to solve a bit of a language barrier here between UTM and Windows. Windows doesn't know how to speak to the UTM Virtual Machine properly, but you can teach it how with 3 driver files. First, the system driver. Click on Load Driver. Now, unlock your Mac cursor by pressing Ctrl and Option or Alt. Click the CD button at the top right and choose Change like you did earlier. Now open the VirtIO ISO file. Click Browse in the Windows pop-up. Click on the arrow next to the CD drive D, scroll down to SMBUS, then open the 2K8 folder and finally select AMD 64. Click OK and Next. After a few seconds, you'll be redirected to the Where to install Windows screen. Repeat the load driver procedure for the QXL graphics driver, which is located in QXLDOD W10 AMD 64. Finally, load the storage driver from the VIOSTOR W10 AMD 64 folder. And the virtual hard drive will be recognized. Just one last step. You need to change back to the Windows 10 ISO so Windows setup can continue. So once again, click the CD button to change to the Windows ISO. Select Refresh in the Windows setup and click Next to finish the last step of Windows setup. Windows will now install files and features, which can take a long time, so I would recommend you charge up your Mac and disable power saving options. Eventually, Windows setup will prompt you to restart the virtual machine. You'll see the UTM logo again, but this time don't press any key when asked to start setup. Just wait a few seconds and Windows will start from the virtual hard drive. The next part is the longest wait in the entire setup, so feel free to do something else while these loading screens are shown. And you're done. Well, almost. See, there is currently a problem with UTM's networking. That means the Windows first time setup, also known as out-of-box experience, doesn't work sometimes. If your Windows setup allows you to choose your region, keyboard and account settings, great. Please skip to this later time in the video for your next steps. If on the other hand you encounter an error like this, we'll have to manually skip the setup. Press Fn, Ctrl, Shift, F3. This will restart Windows and lead you to the secret administrator account. Once you've been logged in, click Cancel in the System Preparation window. Now press Command R and type regedit. You'll need to change a few registry keys to prevent the setup from starting again. You can see all of the necessary changes on the screen now, and I will leave a link to a separate tutorial video by the channel NTVMB in the video description. Once you've changed the registry entries, close Registry Editor. For the last part of skipping the setup, you will need to create your user account manually. Press Command R again and type netplwiz. Press OK. In the new window, click Advanced and Advanced again. Another larger window will appear. Click on Users in the left column, then right-click, 2-finger tap on a trackpad, and click New User. Type a username and password if you want, then click Create and Close. Right-click the new user in the list and choose Properties, then Member Of and Add. Type Administrators and click Check Names on the right. Click OK and OK again. That's it, you've successfully skipped Windows first time setup. click on the Windows button and then Power and Restart. Step 7. Installing guest tools. Once you've been logged in, change the CD to the SMBUS Guest Tools ISO. Open the CD in File Explorer and double-click on SMBUS Guest Tools. Click Next. Once that's done, you can get rid of the SMBUS CD by choosing Eject from the CD menu. You're all done with the driver setup, so go ahead and shut down Windows to get ready for some final performance improvements. Step 8. Internet and performance improvements. You may have noticed that Windows was a bit laggy overall and the resolution was quite low. To get it running nicely and to enable internet access, click on the Options button at the top right. In the Network tab, check the Enabled box and choose VirtIO-Net-PCI in the list of emulated network cards. Finally, click on the Display tab to change the graphics adapter to VirtIO-GPU-PCI and enable Fit to Screen as well as Retina mode. Click Save to apply the changes and then click Play to start Windows once again. This time, instead of the Windows loading animation, you'll see the text "Display output is not active." This is normal and it will change in a few seconds when the login screen appears. If you want to keep using Windows in this UTM window, you're all done. To change Windows to full screen, right-click on the desktop picture and change the resolution to the maximum available one. Things will become very small on the screen, but make sure to click on Keep Changes, the left of the two buttons. Then change the scaling to 200% to make things normal sized once again. Phew! You did it! Thank you for watching.